Hello all, Uncle Jack's Horror Stories here. Please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. And above all, I hope you enjoy the video. I always believed in what I could see, what I could touch, what I could prove. That was the only way to survive as a detective. Faith? That was for the people who needed a reason to feel safe in the dark. Me? I made my peace with the dark a long time ago. Then I got assigned to the string of murders. Savage, brutal things. Blood splash against cheap motel wallpaper. Victims arranged like grotesque marionettes. No forced entry, no DNA, no fingerprints. Had all the classic hallmarks of a serial killer who had abandoned all sense of humanity and was taking it out on the local streetwalker population. Whoever was doing this was talented in his own grotesque way. Between the lack of physical evidence and the one blurry, partial picture of this dude's back, there wasn't a lot to go on. The brass was starting to breathe down my neck as the body count started crawling up. As I stared at the painfully empty evidence board, there was only one consistent through line through all of the crime scene photos. They were all arranged in the same strange alien pattern. Nothing to lead to an arrest or even a suspect, so it was more of an observation than evidence. The nightmare started after the sixth body. I woke up drenched in sweat, gasping, the images of those killings flashing behind my eyelids. I was there. The glint of my own knife, the warmth of the blood, a voice whispering in my ear, thick with laughter.
You are mine now.
This was not my normal. I was a veteran of the Violent Crimes Unit, years on the force. I'd seen my fair share. Why are these cases getting to me like this? My phone rang on my nightstand, shattering the silence with its cheery, shrill electric tone. Our forensic video analyst, Tom, was on the other end of the line. Get to the station. What? Why? Do you know what time it is? Get down here now. Tom was a friend. We hired on about the same time. Our kids went to the same school. We were close. And that's what saved me, for the time being anyway. I pulled into the parking lot of the station in a cold sweat, still not able to shake off the nightmare I had just went through. The night shift beat cop cars were my only company on that cracked asphalt. Those and a crappy 2005 beige Corolla, Tom's car. Ever so practical. The lights were off in the offices at the station as I made my way to Tom's office, every step increasing my anxiety. Tom didn't even look up when I walked in, just slowly rotated one of his monitors. He was looking at the security footage from around the murder scene of the last victim. The security cameras caught glimpses of a man in my coat, walking in my gait. We both know that coat, don't we? Tom, you know it can't be me. How many other people have a coat like that? Given that you also acknowledge what we are seeing here makes my argument for me, doesn't it? It couldn't be me. I'd never do that. I know that, and that's why I'm telling you, and not your boss. But you know how this looks. Truthfully, I did know. They're starting to fall into place. The nightmares I'd been having, this footage. In my heart, I knew what this meant, but I couldn't bring myself to say it. Tom ended the conversation for me. I'm going to keep this under my hat. There's nothing conclusive here. Nothing that would be admissible in court anyway. That being said, get this figured out now, or I will be bringing this over your head. I was the killer. I couldn't keep the thought out of my head. The nightmares, the video evidence, that voice, the positioning of the bodies. It led me to a conclusion that sounded crazy even to me. I was possessed. Nothing else made sense. I had no mental issues. I definitely didn't do that knowingly. That was definitely me in the video, so what other option was there? From that point on, work was grueling. Brass was breathing down my neck as there were still no leads and the bodies were piling up. Tom was watching me. I couldn't even move around the office without feeling his gaze. I was looking at possession on the computer when I felt a tap on my shoulder. Tom. Frantically minimizing my browser, I greeted him. "What's up, Tom?" He looked at me, quizzically, eyes squinting behind his heavily lensed glasses. I took another look at those crime scene photos. "Yeah? Figure anything out?" "Maybe. Not saying it means anything, but the way all those bodies were laid out, it is strangely similar to the symbol of Leviathan." "Leviathan?" "Yes, the demon Leviathan." "Since when did you know about all that? Aren't you a little bit more into the secular than the spiritual?" "I am, but judging by what you just had up on your browser, we might be thinking along the same lines." "Well, that was definitely some helpful information. That definitely didn't help me in terms of stopping whatever's going on here." I was desperate. I turned to the only person that I had left. My brother, Danny, the priest, the believer. The man I hadn't spoken to in years because faith and facts don't mix. He was young, fresh out of seminary, barely able to keep the lights on in his tiny church upstate. But he was all I had. "I don't know how to do this," he admitted, Bible trembling in his hands. "Exorcisms aren't exactly covered in Theology 101. "Figure it out," I told him, "because if you don't, I won't be me much longer." We started in his church, beneath the shadow of the crucifix. Holy water burned my skin. His words, hesitant at first, grew stronger, calling upon the power of his faith. And then I was gone. I opened my eyes to find myself in a void, face to face with whatever that thing was that had taken root inside of me. It was grotesque, shifting, taking my shape and grinning with my own mouth.
You think you can fight me?
It sneered. "Guess we'll see." We lunged at each other, our blows landing with the weight of pure will. It was a brawl unlike anything I'd ever fought. Desperation against dominance, humanity against whatever it was. I swung with every ounce of my being, felt the crunch of its bones beneath my fists, and I heard it roar in frustration as it finally fell. And then I woke up, in my bed. Sunlight spilling through the blinds. My hands steady, my mind clear. I felt rested, free. Until I tried to move. Nothing. My limbs didn't respond. My lips curved into a smirk I didn't make. Inside I screamed, tore at whatever walls I could even fathom. Outside my body stood, stretched, rolled its shoulders, like slipping into a comfortable coat. My voice, but not my voice, chuckled.
Nice try, detective. This body's mine now.
I'm still in here, still watching. A prisoner in my own flesh, witnessing the horror unfold through my own eyes, watching as it sharpens my knife, watching as it smiles at its next victim, and knowing that I will never be able to stop it.